That's good.
We all know where we stand at the moment. It was just a bid to open the negotiations, and they're really testing Palace's resolve. I know it looks bad on the outside, but the fact that Arsenal knew that Zaha went to Palace and said, look guys, Arsenal's my dream move, can you please lower your demands so that I could play for my boyhood club? Arsenal took advantage of that situation and went in and low-blowed them with a 40 million deal. So look, you know, laugh at it, say what you want. All the deal's done is open up the negotiating table, because it's on now. The game is on. All three sides know where they are. Arsenal want the player wants to come to Arsenal. Palace knows essentially they are possibly going to lose the player in terms of his heart as well, because he's given them everything. He's been their best player by far. He's helped keep them in the Premiership. And he signed a new deal last year, by the way, a new 5-year deal that tied him to the club till 2023. The deal was 120, 130 grand a week. I don't think he's bothered about the money. I think he is happy to just make 130, 140 with Arsenal, knowing that he's going to be competing for the top 4 and he'll be playing in Europe, is something that the player wants to do. He's 26 years old. United ain't going to want him again. City and Liverpool certainly don't have any space for him, because the way how their systems work, they're flooded across the board. Arsenal's the only place that he can go to where he knows he's going to get playing time. Harry Kane has Dele Alli and Song on either side, so again, he won't fit up there. But the mechanics kind of work with the negotiation table that they have now. So let's take a look at it where Arsenal's perspective is. Wan-Bissaka went to Man United for 50 million. What that means is right now Palace don't have a right back. So Carl Jenkinson can be used to sweeten the pot. Maitland-Niles could be used to sweeten the pot. When Bellerin comes back, he won't have a position anymore. Plus, as good as he was playing, Maitland-Niles is not a right back or a left back. You know, that's not his position. His preferred position is in the midfield. It's a little bit like what we were doing with Oxlade-Chamberlain. You know, he's gone to Liverpool and now his role's more central. Palace can definitely take advantage of some of the players that Arsenal might want to offer on hand. There's also the likes of Mustafi, El Nene. You know, there are things Arsenal can do to sweeten the pot and to help Palace cushion the blow of losing their best player. If they can throw in a couple of players, then that might swing it in Arsenal's favour. But remember, it's been widely known now, the agents are on it. His brothers has obviously said that, look, he wants to go. So that's where the situation is. It's quite simple. I don't think that there is anything difficult in the run-in to what's happening here. Again, from my perspective, this is really going to show us what the new front office is all about. We've had years of Gazidis and Dick Law just cocking up contracts and just not getting things done. And we have to give Vinay, Rasali, and not just them, but Hus Fahmy, who's the new team negotiator. We have to get, who's done really well. He did the Aubameyang deal, the Mkhitaryan deal. You know, he's done Torreira's, Leno's. So he's actually done a good job since he's been here. So I think that in order for us to understand where these guys are, they're learning as well about the Premiership. They're in their infancy trying to understand how this all works. So, boy, and then there's that budget that has to be spread out because of the amount of players that we have to bring in. And having lost Welbeck, having lost Ramsey, Cech, Ospina, Liechtenstein, there's 5 players that have gone out. And you have to spread the money in order to get someone in. I mean, essentially, if they did go and buy Zaha, then you've gone and thrown all your eggs in one basket. And then you've got spot areas at goalkeeper, at right back, that essentially there's no money in the kitty for. So, you know, it's a tight one, but I think that is something that's workable. But it's a positive move. I don't think that we should look at it in any negative light. And well, listen, when this thing pays itself through, we'll have to see where we're standing at the end of the day. The one thing we do know is Emery can't afford to fail. He can't afford to keep fitting square pegs in round holes, which he was doing last season. Last season, he had a ton of players that just could not get it done in the system that he wanted to run. And he is not going to bank this year on doing the same thing, knowing that Arsenal will not take up the third option if he fails to get them in the Champions League as well. There's plenty of managers out there that are capable of replacing him, and I think everybody knows that. So it's really over to how we can now integrate players to play in a system that he wants that can get the job done, because the guys last season that Wenger left cannot get it done. There's no two ways around it. There's no, we can't hide the fact that these players have failed to get it done. And it's more of a defensive thing. You don't take over a team and let in the same goals as they did in their last year, 51 goals. You just don't do that. So it surprises everybody that this Zaha thing is even gaining ground, spending all that money on a guy who's going to help support the front end while your back end is leaking goals, and you've still got the same degger players in there making the same mistakes week in, week out. You're not going to get in the top four with that defense, my friend. That's something you're going to have to think about. So let's leave it there, guys, and let's give this front office a chance for them to prove that they can get something done. That's what I'm saying. Building awareness is always good at that level, because fans don't really think about the business side of the board. But it really was the first day of the market where Vinay and Raul had said on record that they were going to use all the commercial funds, every penny, to put back into the club and transfers fees. So essentially, we haven't even given them a chance to go and do that. The ink on the paper is barely dry on the Adidas deal. It's like the 1st, 2nd of July. Come on, man. Let's give these guys a chance to spread their wings a little bit and find their feet in the table before we go and throw in our toys out the pram. So, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it. Like and subscribe. Back your team. Appreciate the love. Let's see what these guys at Arsenal do. Let's see what this front office do. And be sure, I promise you, like I did last year, we are going to spend more than 40 million. That's a definite given. And just like we did last year. So look, just pipe down, back your team, and try and be a little bit patient, man. Let's try and see this thing out. All right, peace.